Okay,
Yeah, go
you can
ahead.
see the thing. So this is, I've used the format of Abhishek Ji. They made it convenient for me to do that. So this is proposition 22, which we are discussing now, talking about. And this is what Prop 22 is. It is basically about the rideshare drivers like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart. And basically, it is about the labor, whether to be classified as contractors or employees. So yes on Prop 22 means they'll be classified as contractors. No on Prop 22 means they'll be classified as employees. It's simple as that. But how to choose and what is not that simple, because everybody has their point of view, every company has its point of view, drivers will have their point of view, and of course consumers will have their point of view, right? So from the company point of view, they will be exempt from the standard wages, hours, restrictions, all that, the state laws and all that, which are there. If we say no, that means the app drivers will be treated as employees. They will get their health care, sick leave, unemployment workers compensation, and also be able to take part in unions and all that, right? So even though with Prop 22, even though these companies are saying typically there will not be any benefits, but with Prop 22 they will provide some benefits. It's not that they will have no benefits as contractors. So the benefits include that they will get a higher wage, they will get healthcare subsidies, they will get accident insurance up to $1 million, and disability insurance. All those things also are there, right? Plus they will include some consumer safety changes which are presently not there. For driver background checks will be more stringent, and zero tolerance for drug or alcohol violations, as well as imposter, somebody posing as the driver. uh, Now, no to this is what they say is, and this is what the what is Berkeley and the labor experts have said. You see, Berkeley, that even though they have said 120% minimum wage, that's wage is tied up to engaged time. That is when actually they are picking up passengers, and there's actually some passenger who's riding that vehicle. So no money will be paid for any wait time between rides. So effectively, this Prop 22 only guarantees drivers 564 an hour, even though 120% would make it like more than $20 an hour, right? So that is the thing between this. Now come from the user point of view or the consumer point of view. For us, it'll continue. If you say yes, it'll continue offering drivers work on flexible schedules, and consumers will get on-demand rides at low prices, which is happening today. Which have been happening for a long time now. But if you choose as an employee, employees, they will have to work in shifts. There's availability will be less, because they're saying they will not be able to absorb as many drivers as there are today. In fact, only 24% Uber says can be absorbed as full-time employees, 24% of its current driving force. They also will not be able to operate in all the areas that they operate today. Especially the sparse areas where business is low. If as employees, they're not going to post them there. So effectively, routes will be more expensive and with greater wait times, and obviously with less drivers means there will be greater wait times. Let us see who is behind these campaigns. And I mean, it's not a major surprise or anything. Behind these campaigns, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, they've all contributed millions of dollars for this proposition. In fact, there's also contribution from the other side to say no, and that has come from the labor unions. Let us see the background a little bit to this. So there is an Assembly Bill 5, AB 5, basically that says that to be classified as a contractor, they should be able to demonstrate that they are free from employer's control. Otherwise, they will be classified as employee. So rideshare companies have been directed to basically the thing as employees, right? Just let me, yeah. So they've been basically directed to be consider their drivers as employees, presently, based on this bill. Hence, these rideshare companies have floated this proposition, seeking public support for their business. Because as we speak today, as per the law today, they have to classify them as employees. And that's why they had threatened at one time to leave California. Uber had threatened, saying that they cannot survive like this. So let us see, rideshare companies, they're holding their business, what they're saying is their business is connecting customers to drivers through an app. That is their basic business. And they do not have any direct interaction with these drivers. They don't know their drivers that well to employ them as employees. Now, besides the cost aspect, because there will be an additional cost to these companies if they if they are considered the workers as employees, there'll be this cost. There's also the business model will have to change. The current business model of Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, all this is not currently suited for traditional type of workplace. Like there's no traditional workplace, or people are not working in shifts. They will have to then work in shifts, 8-hour shifts, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. It is not that type of a traditional workplace, as it were. And presently, they don't have to accept every ride and all that, but if they, as employees, they will have to accept all rides, deliveries directed by their company, right? So the whole business model will have to change. That will take time, and that could also lead to unwanted results. Further on this is, as we said, that there is that law that says, if you have control over your employee, then basically you will be an employee. You'll be an employee if you have control over the driver. But if the driver has full control, then he can be classified as a contractor. So in order to give more control to drivers, the Uber app also they're making changes so that the driver can actually reject a trip without a penalty based on what the driver sees as the estimated trip fare or destination or whatever. So such new features, which are presently not there, but they would help Uber build its case that its drivers are free from its control and are independent. Proposition 22 would enact labor and wage policies that are specific to app-based drivers. And companies are not purely based on state laws. So with Proposition 22, these new policies will come into effect, which are specific to these drivers. It will also require, as part of Proposition 22, new policies and all that. They'll require companies to provide occupational accident insurance to cover up to $1 million in medical expenses and so on. So they're saying that they will do all this as part of Proposition 22, but however, this will not be, this occupational accident insurance will be defined when the driver is using the app and receiving service requests, but not engaged in personal activities. It will not be for that. It's specific to the occupation. Let us see now the viewpoints of different people. The viewpoints of drivers will come first. Let us see what drivers have to say. So drivers are basically caught in the middle. The old workers, they would like better benefits, protections, wages, and all. The new workers, the younger ones, for whom the company, for them, flexibility is most important. And for them, this, the company contractor status will give them that flexibility. So they will prefer to be contractors. In public surveys, also this came out, that it is not that all drivers want to be employees or all want to be contractors. So in fact, a recent survey commissioned by Uber found that 2 out of 3 want to actually be contractors. So one major appeal of being a driver for ride sharing. Now imagine you're a driver for a ride sharing or delivery company. The main thing for them is flexibility, and they can choose when to work, when not to work. And they're afraid as an employee, they may lose that choice. Drivers also understand the trade-offs between traditional employment and app work, which is untraditional. So like traditional jobs, drivers have total freedom to choose when and how they drive, unlike the traditional jobs. So they can fit their work around their life, not the other way around. So you have a lot of young kids, young people who are going to school, who are studying, who are working. For them, it'll be difficult for them to be employees because they will then have to get into a particular shift and so on, and they may have to force to choose either school or work. So people like that as well, will prefer to have this flexibility. Let us see what people are saying. Let's see what the Uber CEO himself is saying, that Prop 22 is about starting to move into, what he's basically saying is you'll get the best of both. You've got flexibility as well as you'll be your own boss, but you will have certain protections which Prop 22 will give. It will not be that you'll have no protections at all, unlike regular contractors. The unions are saying that the benefits contained in this Prop 22 pale in comparison to what workers are entitled to under state law. Right. So this also then goes on to say, people say that that the flexibility and all that is most important, and many drivers will opt out if this flexibility is not there. So these are the source of the information, that, various media, newspapers. And that is all I have on Prop 22. Any questions?
Thanks, Sunilji.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any input?
Can you please put that the first page back on?
Yeah, put the first page back on. Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. Yes.